Many people have tried to make Minecraft safe space. I am no different. My first attempt failed, then my second, but as they say, third time's the charm. Now you may be asking, is it even possible to make an unbreachable base? The answer is yes, and it's called an Enderpearl. But otherwise, no. For the same reason you can't make an inescapable prison, the universal escape. Just remove escapes and replace it with break-in. But can you make a safe space that patches every other way to break-in? Yeah, here's my attempt at that challenge. Because all prisons have cool names, I said its safest spaces should too. So without further ado, welcome to the facility. Okay, cool name. What makes it so safe? To answer this, we need to think of every way somebody can get into the base. After careful consideration, here's my list. Came up with 5 possible break-in methods. Let's go through them one by one. Let's start by looking at chorus fruit. For those of you who don't know, when you get chorus fruit, you get teleported to a random location in an 8-block radius. This allows you to get past walls or into hidden rooms. Patch this, everyone in my base has a floor of waterlogged blocks. You may be asking why they have to be waterlogged blocks, not just water. The answer is because of this little thing, the dragon egg. Dragon egg is an interesting property where when clicked, you can teleport up to 7 blocks vertically and 15 blocks horizontally. This leads to an interesting situation where if you get a dragon egg in the base, you can chorus fruit onto it. Dragon egg can't teleport to waterlogged blocks, so all blocks have to be waterlogged to prevent making space for chorus fruit. Next, we should look at portaling in from the nether. To understand how this works, you'll have to understand that when traveling through another portal first time, portal will generate in the nether. If you go from the nether to the overworld, there's no space in the overworld. Portal will generate in a wall between Y70 and Y50. With some basic math, you can figure out where in the overworld the portal will generate. To counter this, we need to make our own portal. The portal I made is designed in a way that if you send a TNT minecart through to break the portal, it will break the sand and trigger ban in the middle of the base. This ban is the main defense for the base. Anything that you do in the base that is a threat to security will trigger this area ban in the middle of the base. Ban is also what we use to detect if someone is mining up to the base. How do we detect if people mine in? The answer is this: a calibrated skulk sensor. Using signal strength, you can wire a calibrated skulk sensor to detect any action, in our case, mining. If you mine in the base, you will be banned. I also set up some to detect if you are placing blocks. This makes it impossible to get in with a pickaxe. I think the YouTube comment section won't be happy about. Our next major problem is Enderpearl glitching, one of the most overpowered mechanics in Minecraft. This glitch lets you go upwards infinitely through walls. To understand how this works, we need to understand how Enderpearls work. For this explanation, we'll split the player into 2 halves, the head and the feet. The Enderpearl is thrown from the head, but when it lands, it teleports the feet to the pearl. This was done to prevent getting clipped in the floor when you throw an Enderpearl. It seems like a logical solution, but it does mean you can infinitely teleport up through walls. When you throw the pearl from the head, it hits the block the head is currently in, but as we learned, the feet will teleport to where the head was. The head then moves up, and the cycle repeats. So how do we counter it? Well, we have a layer of air you can't pearl glitch. One of the biggest counters to this layer of air is boats. So if we alternate lava and trapdoors in a checkerboard pattern, it will be impossible to place a boat. There's also observers detecting the whole layer, so you can't block off the lava with wool or waterlog the trap.
As of editing this video, I have found out that the Squilly Glitch no longer works in 1.21, but considering this base was designed to work in 1.20.4, I will still have to deal with the Squilly Glitch.
The final glitch we have to deal with is the Squilly Glitch. Discovered by Squilly, this glitch uses a boat or shulker next to your bed to obstruct it. The game doesn't know how to spawn you there, so it moves your spawn point up until it finds a valid respawn point. This means you can set your spawn at the bottom of the world, die, appear at the top of the world. As the game is searching for a place to spawn, if it finds the best spawn point is in the base, you will appear in the base. Best part, you don't even have to die. Going through the end exit portal will also bring you to your spawn point. So how do we counter that? Well, it's simple. You need a room beneath the room with a treasure in it. In this small room, we have an observer with string beneath it, so it will detect a player, trigger the ban. Now that you understand how the defense works, let's talk about the room where the treasure is stored. First, the layout of the room. The room consists of 2 barrels. One contains enderpearls and turtle master potions. You'd be asking why. The answer is so that I can get out of the base. I use pearl glitching top of the base and egg. Exiting is the easy part. Well, how do I get in? Think about it. What are some things that are tied to a specific player? There are many answers. The one I was looking for is the spawn point. My spawn is set in the base, so all I have to do to enter the base is jump in the end exit portal. Social Blade says it will take me almost 4 years to hit 1,000 subscribers. My parents taught me you can't trust everything you see on the internet. If you want to help me prove Social Blade wrong, please subscribe. If you still aren't convinced this is the safest Minecraft place, I got my friend Nscoper929, also known as N22Rex, to try to break in. His YouTube channel will be in the description. I gave him 30 seconds in creative mode to get any items he wants for the break-in. He got wither skulls, soul sand, and a netherite pickaxe. Started mining into the door, he broke 2 blocks of wood, mined crying obsidian, and got banned. He asked me for a second chance. Because I'm a merciful ruler, I let him have a second chance. He walked up to the door, summoned a wither, and ran. The wither triggered the ban, and he thought he succeeded, but when he came back to the base, he got banned. Thank you so much for watching this video.